This is the second video of a series about the future of Star Wars and what I think it'll be like. Just to clarify, if you haven't watched the first video, this is not the future of the upcoming Star Wars projects. This is instead the future of the Star Wars timeline, what should happen post-sequel trilogy. And one more quick note, if you have not watched the first video, which is totally fine, I will be using sequel characters and the upcoming Rey movie to connect my ideas to the projects that Disney is making. So what that means is I will explain what I think should happen with the future of a certain idea, person, group, or government, but then I will tie it back to what Disney is doing and make it work and make it make sense. So my first video was just an introduction to the series. In that video, I explained a few examples of how what Disney is doing with Star Wars can make Rey seem like she's better than Luke. An example I used was, what if Rey, as she rebuilds the Jedi Order, has a student with dark thoughts or with a strong dark side presence? How will she react to the situation? If she does anything but attempt to kill the student, it shows that she is better or more competent than Luke. Now, this necessarily doesn't have to be a bad thing. Having her be better than Luke is okay if you can prove that she earned that right. Of course, she is nowhere close to have proved that in my mind. And just so you can get into my brain really quickly, I really didn't like the sequels. I've explained this a lot. However, unlike many other people, I am perfectly willing to give every character and every writer and every director another chance. I'm really happy to do so. It's been 9 years since The Force Awakens. A lot of time has passed and a lot of things have changed with Disney. I hope so. I am perfectly willing to let them change the sequel characters for the better, and I want to like these characters. But the writers have to write them in a way that redeems them. So every video in this series has a topic of discussion. This video will be about the Sith. How did the Sith come back after the sequel trilogy? Now this has to be done with great care because it's getting repetitive now. That the Jedi and the good guys win and then the Sith just come back so easily. So this has to be done, like I said, with great care. So here's a few ideas of how this can be done. Of course, they could just copy and paste The Force Awakens and have one of Rey's students go rogue and become a Sith. However, who would train this student Jedi who went rogue? There should not be any Snoke-like characters around. Maybe a bunch of Padawans at Rey's temple go rogue and group together, and maybe they explore the galaxy. While they're exploring the galaxy, they find some artifacts. Because, let's be real, they were only trained by Rey, so they only know of the light side. But if these rogue Jedi explore the galaxy, maybe they can find Sith temples or just some types of cool artifacts, and through their findings, they can learn how to become Sith. Then they can come back and fight Rey and her students that didn't fall to the dark side. And for this way of bringing the Sith back to life, I want to empathize how important it is that they do not find a master. There cannot be a Snoke-type figure because there shouldn't be any of them left. There should be 0 Sith in the galaxy at the start of the Rey movie. So they will have to learn from history, not from a person. That's why I said temples and artifacts. However, I do have some problems with this path. One being, it's, as I said, very repetitive. Not just to The Force Awakens, but in general, students of a good organization turning against it and going rogue is so common in film these days. However, that's not to say it can't be done. It can be done, and it can be done well, but will it? That's the real question. Another avenue I think that can be taken is something a little more fresh, at least I think. Anakin, Luke, and Rey all started off on desert planets with nothing of value in their life, dreaming and hoping for more. What if we make that the story of the next Sith? It would be a total 180. What if we had a new Sith who is in poverty, has nothing of value to their life, and they just sit around and not do much? They are mad at the new Republic. They think the whole system is to blame for why they live in poverty and have no meaning. I would like if this person was not on a sand planet, but if that's what Disney would want to do, that's fine. The story could go as this person's family was killed by the New Republic somehow. As they sit around on their planet, they have hatred, and that's it. And that hatred goes to the Republic and the Jedi Order. And as they sit on this planet, they do nothing. But eventually, they steal a ship. But their only goal is not for freedom or for a better life, but instead to hurt the Jedi Order and the New Republic. What if this person almost, in a sense, vandalizes or harms the New Republic? They run around getting explosives and just blow up New Republic bases. They basically just run around and do horrible things to the New Republic and the Jedi Order. So they might hurt Republic officers and do horrible stuff. And this would probably get them on like a most wanted list of something like that of the Republic. However, in this story, harming the Republic wouldn't involve Rey and the rebuilding of the Jedi Order. So here's how I would involve them. Let's say this person is Force sensitive, but they obviously don't know it. Of course, as I said, there can't be any Snoke-like character around at this point. So let's say that this character continues to terrorize the galaxy and eventually kidnaps one of Rey's students who is maybe off on some sort of mission. Then many different paths can develop from there. But then maybe a ransom is paid to this person in order for them to return the Jedi Padawan back to Rey. But let's say that this future Sith person keeps the Jedi's lightsaber before they return him back to Rey. They can train with this lightsaber and become a powerful warrior and continue to terrorize the galaxy. Even though I said we will make this character Force sensitive, they don't even need to be Force sensitive in this movie for it to work. So if they are not Force sensitive, are they a Sith? Well, the Sith are gone, and I think Disney needs to do a good job of remaking the Sith totally differently so it doesn't become repetitive. I think the potential Sith character I just laid out would be perfect for the Rey movie. Now those are my two ideas for the future of the Sith in this new series about the future of Star Wars. Even though this is technically the second video, the first video was only an intro. This is really the first complete video where I pick a topic in this video was about the Sith and explain how it can be developed in the era of the Rey movie post-sequels. And I really like that idea. The idea of a reverse Anakin, a reverse Rey, a reverse Luke, someone who is born just like them, born with nothing of value, born with no hope, no future, but instead of becoming a Jedi and becoming something good, they become something bad. They run around, they terrorize the galaxy, they do horrible things, and eventually they pick up a lightsaber, learn the Force, and become a Sith. And they are from the bottom who made it to the top, but instead of being the top being the good guys, they become a Sith. And then they're a real competitor to Rey, and I think that can serve as a really good story. So, that's all I have to say. If you want to leave some comments of ideas for this series, please do. And that's it. May the Force be with you.